It is Tuesday, March 10th, the United States and Canada. The Sabres are going to beat the Maple Leafs on Saturday, and this is a show called What Chaos from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean in the Sports Interaction Studio. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and holding it down, the City of Champions, wearing that cool sweatshirt we got for free, is Sean DePaz. Hey, champ.
Hey, howdy. We did get the sweatshirt for free, but it's pretty nice for a giveaway sweater. I'll say that much.
It is really nice for a giveaway sweater. I haven't worn that one yet. I'm excited to.
It is quite comfy.
I've worn it a couple of times. I like it.
Shout out, since we don't currently have a ticket sponsor, I can shout out Ticketmaster for the free hoodie.
Damn, I feel like it's controversial shouting out
Ticketmaster.
Well, they gave me a free hoodie, so I guess they can fuck over Taylor Swift fans as much as they want.
I'm willing to bet they gave you a free hoodie. I'm willing to bet you are still so deep in the red to Ticketmaster. They have stolen so much money from you.
Absolutely, but I'm an easy. Just give me free things, and you can do whatever you want.
Well, Ticketmaster famously has not given you free things.
I know.
So they can't do whatever they want for now.
$800 of service charges that you've paid to them for some mysterious reason have given you one sweatshirt. Congratulations on that awesome trade.
To be honest, I haven't bought too many tickets on Ticketmaster. Like, if I'm buying sports tickets, they're usually on the secondary market. So I'm not the one getting fucked over. It's whoever got the tickets originally is getting fucked over.
Ticketmaster can get fucked straight to hell as far as I'm concerned.
I don't like that. I just was trying to say that this is a nice sweater, and I'm getting called a capitalist in the chat.
You are a strong capitalism respecter.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's no perfect form of an economy. But, I guess like a kind of democratic socialist kind of thing, like you reform within the confines of the rules that we have. Shout out Zoran Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Politics.
Just shout out Zoran and then
that's politics.
I guess.
Pete, tell the folks what's on the show today.
Today on the show, talking Mamdani. We're fighting words. Fighting words? Why is that? Oh, I think I know. Fighting words, there's a lot of people fighting online, and
all that there, yeah. People are fighting online.
What are fighting words?
This is more words that were on the ice, and now people fighting over words that were said on the ice.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I got confused because I thought fighting words was in relation to the Heated Rivalry thing, but that has its own nephew down. We're going to talk Awards Watch. Greg Wyshynski is always on top of where the NHL awards voting is and currently stands. I feel like there's some interesting award races this year.
Yeah,
very interesting. And I bet I know what Sean has thoughts on.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Are we talking Jack Adams?
Of course we are.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you. I'm there with you. We're also going to talk today in Heated Rivalry because, oh boy, parasocial relationships are really taking a toll on some of these people. And Tinkin' Tankin'?
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I like that.
We're Tinkin'
Tankin's pretty good.
We're tinking about tanking.
I did see Maura Higgins posted yesterday on her Instagram story. Apparently there's a Tinkerbell movie being made. And it's called Tink, and she is all over using that to her own brand.
She's a bit of a thing. She would be a hell with all due respect to Julia Roberts, she would be a hell of a Tinkerbell.
And she already likes wearing wigs, as we know, so not like you got to worry about the
Will
blonde
you wear
hair,
wigs?
But I feel like Tinkin' Tankin' suggests that you're saying thinking, because she does the T.
You mean thinking, thanking?
Yeah, that's what you said,
because if you're doing
thinking.
Tinkin' Tankin', that's how Maura would say thinking, thanking.
Well, we'll tink it over and begin the show with catching you up on some stuff that happened last night. The slate was terrible. We knew it was going to be terrible. Gave it an A-, and it proved to be. The only interesting things that happened last night for me is Andrew Mangiapane scored his first goal as a Blackhawk, which wasn't that interesting. And that the Capitals
the only
allowed...
things that happened last night was... blah, 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 wasn't that interesting.
Which wasn't interesting. And the Capitals allowed 2 shorthanded goals on the same power play to the Flames.
It's not good.
And won the game.
I mean...
That's good.
The Flames can't score, so may as well just start just being the shorthanded goals team.
It was...
Why not?
Yeah, some stupid games and some bad ones. The Senators also shut out the Canucks in the Tuck, which we knew that game was going to stink, but it did make James Reimer, the... James Reimer, the
Optimus
third...
Rhyme.
Yes, the third NHL goalie in history to record a shutout with 7 different franchises. That's one of those stats that does that say you're good or that you're bad?
I mean, it's got to say stats. It's really got to depend on who's speaking at the current moment, because to get 1 shutout in the NHL is pretty good.
Yeah.
To get 7 is really good. To get 7 on 7 different teams is very improbable.
I was listening to Tyler and Liam yesterday, and Tyler brought up something that does drive me crazy when a defenseman has a bad game and people are like, this defenseman had a terrible game. Why did they get so much ice time? And the answer is often they got so much ice time because they couldn't get off the ice because they had a bad game, so they were stuck in their zone for 3 minutes every time they got on the ice. It's one of those things where, like, 7 shutouts you get 7 shutouts in the NHL, you're a good hockey player.
Yeah.
If you're a guy recording shutouts, why are you on 7 teams?
Well, I mean, goaltenders, especially like of the level of James Reimer, are like relief pitchers. If they play for 15 different teams, I don't really hold it against them. Yaroslav Halak, really good career in the NHL, played for like 32 NHL teams, and 32 teams didn't exist when he was in the league. So he's just one of those guys who always has value and will just bounce around.
All right, we got some cool audio to play for you. Chatter out of Edmonton that the Oilers are having a tough time with Tristan Jarry. That chatter is also coming out of my eyes because eye test. Watching the Oilers, watching Tristan Jarry, seems like they're having a tough time with each other. And something was acknowledged yesterday on 32 Thoughts that I was like, damn, this came out before our podcast. How did we not catch this? How did we not see it? Because there had been stuff online about maybe something happened in practice between Tristan Jarry and some of his teammates. And Jason Gregor, there's a great clip of Jason Gregor talking about just watching Tristan Jarry practice, saying, I am watching drill after drill, and I have never seen a goalie get lit up in practice the way this goalie allows goals in practice. But apparently, I don't know if it was from Gregor or where it came from, but there was some stuff about there were some words that were had on the ice between Jarry and teammates. And I will say that I've covered more NHL practices than I would care to admit, and words happen between teammates, even scuffles happen between teammates more often than you would think. So I didn't really think much of it, but
we talked about Rasmus Dahlin yesterday and never mentioned that he beat the shit out of Peyton Krebs.
Pissed off his own teammates. Yeah, we left like... So you said that on our show. I listened to the sheet later on in the day. Merrick listed off a few, and I was like, did we get all those? And then I saw more online, and I was like, today is a day where everyone's talking about, like, this guy pisses off so many people, and each person names like 5 different people. Like, our 5 were different from Merrick's 5. We're different from the internet's 20,000.
I also saw some people online saying, like, if the Sabres get to the playoffs, which we all agree they're getting there, the profile of individual players gets lifted so much higher and elevated so much higher in the playoffs. Rasmus Dahlin might be the most hated man in the NHL by the end of the playoffs.
Good. I want it. Sean, I know you want it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we also could end up in the Gustav Forsling situation where it's like, oh, is this guy going to win a Norris now? Which would be awesome.
I mean,
I don't think he's not that particularly.
Porque no los dos.
Porque no los dos, yes. So he's not quite. It would take a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a leap to get into that like Werenski-Makar territory, but I think he's got it in him.
He can get into that Werenski-Bouchard territory for sure.
Okay, for sure.
Here's Elliot talking about the situation on 32 Thoughts.
There's a lot of talk out there about Jarry got into it in practice with some of his teammates out there. It's been a hard year for the Oilers. You know, I think teams, you know, Buffalo's going through it now. It's where you finally make your rise and everything's fun. Like Edmonton made their rise. It's fun. Toronto years ago made their rise. It's fun. And eventually it's like until you win, you're at your ceiling, right?
He's about at his limit.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So the Oilers are about at their limit. And I wouldn't say that was salacious from Elliott. I think it was an acknowledgement in passing. You know, word out of Edmonton is he got into it with some teammates in practice, which we could crack this thing wide open and go into so they liked Calvin Pickard. They seemed kind of lukewarm on Stu Skinner. They maybe don't like Tristan Jarry respectfully. I hope that Jarry's a nice guy. Based on how he's played, I would not be psyched with the Tristan Jarry experience if I were his teammates. So, like, I will say my world is not totally rocked by them not loving Tristan Jarry so far.
No, and I'm not going to read into it too much either. If like he got reamed out in practice or like went at somebody else on the team in practice, if he's playing like shit and the team's playing like shit, that stuff is kind of what you want when your team is not where you want it, right? We talked about it with the Sabres last year when Dahlin was fighting Krebs. We weren't like, oh my God, they're going to have to blow this thing up. I'm pretty sure we were like, you want to see that fight. You want to see competitors compete. And like, if I'm Jarry, I'm going to be pissed if I'm not playing well. If I'm the Oilers teammates, I'm going to be pissed that my goaltender is not saving the pucks that he should be saving. Both sides have every right to be pissed at each other. Fucking get better.
Yes, but you know it's not equal. Like, you know that there's good guys and there's bad guys here.
I think I'm not going to say there's good guys and there's bad guys. I'm going to say that they acquired Jarry to correct a problem that was not correctable by the goaltender alone. And he also was not fulfilling his end of the bargain either. He was not the guy that they thought that they were getting when they traded for him. So, like, both sides suck here. And they should be fighting with each other. Where we've since gone, the Oilers have played better defensively in the one-game sample post-trade
in
headline.
front of...
Not
Tristan Jarry. So, like, I do take seriously the idea that they're already exasperated with this guy, because I was exasperated with this guy the day they made the trade.
That's fine. They can be exasperated with him if they play the way that they played in the one game since post-trade deadline, and Jarry is sucking ass and losing them games. By all means, we can say he's the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm. Now, the whole players get into it, teammates, they fuss and fight, their family thing. I do agree with that, but here is the thing. Frank Saravalli responded to this and has weighed in, so I need this to keep going, because when Frank weighs in, we listen. Frank was on Oilers Now with our dear friend Bob Stauffer yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
Just because I've kind of touched on it very briefly, I think this whole notion that's existed in the last 24 hours about Tristan Jarry is way, way overblown.
Yeah. Well, what happens is words get twisted from what gets said. I used the term salvo on Friday in the discussion with Ryan Rishaug. There was never an altercation. Now, could there have been words or a look at some point? A salvo, a shot? It's a little different than, oh man, they were going at it. And there's nothing wrong. This happens all the time. Who did the Oilers have before here?
And I'm not knocking anyone, but unless I'm boots on the ground witnessing it, or I've heard firsthand commentary, I don't generally dive into that stuff. And let me add another thing, too, is some of the best teams out there have friction at times. Friction can be good. It can produce results and, in the end, a more cohesive team.
Guy's a legit hockey guy.
Tristan Jarry is
a hockey guy.
So that's from Frank. I think that...
Boots on the ground.
I think that we can make this into some sort of media on media spat. I think that
Haven't we had enough of that?
I think that Elliott did nothing wrong. And I think that if anyone... I don't think... Elliott better not be who Frank is talking about there when he says this thing's been overblown, and I don't acknowledge it unless I'm there, because all Elliott said was, and word out of Edmonton is they got into it in practice, and look, they're having a tough time, blah, blah, blah. I didn't take that as Elliott overblowing it. So maybe people online are, and maybe that's who Frank is talking about, but I'm grateful for the sound bites.
Yeah, and the only reason that it would be overblown is because it's like a powder keg situation to begin with. Mm-hmm. And the littlest things, and I'm just saying this as somebody who has no experience dealing with somebody who is frustrated with Oilers goaltending, you say the smallest thing about the goaltending situation, and there is high probability that it is going to catch flame. Yes?
Yes, I agree with that.
So, until Tristan Jarry starts playing better, until the Oilers consistently play better in front of him, anytime anything goes awry, there's going to be a potential for the situation to be bigger than it should be.
I think they got to proceed right now saying Connor Ingram is our starting goalie, and if Jarry wants to figure it, we would love for Jarry to figure it out. Like I said, their upcoming schedule is grueling. Jarry's going to have to play some of those games, but if I'm this team, I'm like, okay, we've got our reinforcements. We've got Connor Murphy. We've got Jason Dickinson. Let's try to win with this group we have and the better of our two goalies, which neither goalie is particularly good, but Connor Ingram's your best bet.
I did see that Elliott suggested the Oilers were kicking around on acquiring another goalie, but it would require them to move Tristan Jarry, and they just couldn't do it.
If only somebody said that the second it all happens. It annoys me, but not as annoyed as Hudson Williams and Francois Arnault might be, because they both posted the same thing yesterday on Instagram, which is, don't call yourself a fan if you share racist, homophobic, biphobic, misogynistic, ageist, ableist, parasocial, bigoted comments of any kind. None of us need your hateful, quote unquote, love. We all respect and support and love each other and are on the same side. If you can't accept that, get the fuck out of here. Damn. Love this from them. Shouldn't stand for any bullshit. I did for a second think, how funny would it be if like one of us shared it as well to like show that we did not understand the parasocial element of it. We were like, yeah, don't fucking do it. We don't like when you do that.
With my friends.
Yes, we are all against you.
The parasocial and all of that has a real like the French kind of vibe to it, where I agree, not great, but like putting that in between like racism and bigotry, being like, and also don't be parasocial, was very hilarious to me.
Well, I mean, none of us can wrap our heads around what these men are experiencing.
Definitely
not. For sure. That's why I said it's similar to the French, because the French are also problematic. Not to the extent that like the homeless are is derogatory, I guess, but like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, you said the French are problematic. You mean the French is problematic? Like saying the French is problematic.
Well,
okay,
both. But yes.
Patreon, Sean Tent.
But yeah, I mean, parasocial relationships, especially in this, like I've seen it a lot on Twitter. Like this community can be pretty insane. So it is certainly a problem. It's just the way it was laid out looked very funny to me.
Can I say something? I'd still like to be able to be ageist sometimes.
Did I tell you about when I last week or 2 weeks ago, I got my New York State license, and I was at the thing, and there was this she seemed very sweet, but this elderly woman kind of going through the DMV next to me, and they were asking her to do the eye test, and she was just fucking it up left and right. And the woman that was helping me was like, under her breath was like, and this is who we got on the road. There's instances where it is called for, but I think that might be the only one on that list that there are instances in which it is called for.
I'd like to say, like, can I have one of these back? Can I just at least borrow ageism sometimes? I don't want it all the time. Can
Under
I have
the right
it sometimes?
situation. Yes, I agree.
Like, I'd like to be able to make fun of my my elderly co-host on a podcast.
Yeah,
like 42
42-year-old
is
podcast.
A little too old to be doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you think you should be? Isn't Social Security kicking in yet? Don't you have enough money by now? You've been working a long time.
You know, you do a podcast at noon. Don't you have dinner to be grabbing somewhere at a restaurant in the town?
The early bird special.
That kind of stuff,
yes.
I would say. And you know, like, hey, quit writing rundowns. Why don't you write me some birthday checks? Like stuff like that. You should be able to say to me, because I'll accept that. But you go throw those at people you don't know, thinking, hey, it's in jest, we're buddy, then you're being a little parasocial.
The parasocialism of the whole Heated Rivalry thing, like, honestly, I'm not going to blame it on Heated Rivalry, because it is basically attaches itself to anything in 2026 that becomes extremely popular. But like, God, like, please chill. Allow the people that have made your favorite things to not be haunted by the fact that they have made your favorite things.
Yes,
I believe. To the point that they no longer want to make your favorite thing.
Exactly.
I mean, there's this John Lennon guy. One of his fans was so weird to him one time, you know, like just enjoy the shit that they're making. We
And
can
then
make John
after
Lennon
that
jokes,
point,
right?
John Lennon didn't want to make his. John Lennon, some would say, wasn't even able to make that person's favorite thing anymore.
That's right. No more albums. Damn. Imagine if he were still here. Shout out John Lennon.
Imagine if you were still here. It's pretty good.
So, I haven't been seeing much of this, but Pete, you told me that the reaction to Hudson Williams sharing his girlfriend got weird online response, which nothing surprises me
Sharing
anymore.
that he was in a relationship.
Oh, okay. Sharing that he was in a relationship got some. And there's a quote that says, I didn't think there would be as many disrespectful people as there are. This is what he said to Wonderland. And vice versa. I didn't think there would be as many respectful people as there are. I thought everyone would just be screaming, nice or kind of like, oh my God. But yeah, we live in a weird time. He said, I'm seeing these comments and that's cool. But then there are disrespectful people who are just like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, holy shit, why are people hating on me? There's also all this fake news about me. And I'm like, how do I already have fake news? It sucks for these guys. So everyone be cool, okay?
Yeah, I mean,
Not that I think whatnots are the problem here.
I think, no. I would say, though, that like, specifically for like Hudson Williams and the Heated Rivalry guys, I would imagine that this is an absolutely insane thing that like not a lot of people can relate to, because they, as far as I guess like I'm kind of ignorant to it because I wasn't aware of these guys beforehand. I don't know like what their level of fame was like. I know Connor Story was in the Joker movie, but like these guys were relative unknowns, right? Mm-hmm. And then they get thrust into this leading role, and all of a sudden they are the biggest stars in the fucking world at like the worst time in human history to be the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
That is a very, there was no gradual build up to being the biggest star in the world.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
even
for
like-
sure.
Just straight 0 to 100, again, at the worst time to be like a huge star in terms of parasocialism and the toxicity of the internet.
And chat's talking about this, and this is something that I used to think of when I would get in fights with people on Twitter back in the day, where like someone's mad about something I wrote and I'm yelling at them because they don't understand hockey and you don't know the players and I'm there and blah, blah, kind of like stuff that Frank was doing. And then I'd be like, wait a second, I don't know how old this person is. This might be an 11-year-old person who is super
Probably
excited
is.
about hockey and knows all the stats and is like, fuck this guy, they said something about my favorite player. And meanwhile, I think that I'm getting into it with like another 26-year-old asshole. And it like children are participating in this. So not to say someone in the chat said this would be ageism as well, to be like, it's just a bunch of kids. I don't think it is just a bunch of kids, but I do think a lot of it is children not having safeguards, or like, I mean, if they're interacting with Heated Rivalry stars, I have more questions about the parenting, but like, I think a lot of it is people who don't have enough societal experience to say, you know what, maybe I should back off a little bit.
I know a lot of adults that also could use a crash course on being a normal human being.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fucking right.
Yeah. So that's that. Shout out Francois Arnault always, and Hudson Williams. This is an interesting one. Rachel Reed was on Loon Call, a Game Changers podcast. I recommend everybody check it out. And in this episode, shared her experience at SNL, and it included meeting and kind of offering an olive branch to one Quinn Hughes. Sean?
Watch the show.
Can I tell you the person I did introduce myself to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell this part carefully.
Okay.
Because I'm not vouching for anyone. I'm not redeeming anyone.
Okay.
I'm just saying I saw Quinn Hughes at the party.
Mm.
He was standing alone for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe for an hour. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. But I mean, you know how people joke about how he looks haunted all the time.
By the Victorian children, yes.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like he
the
sees
ghosts.
like
Yeah.
only he can see. Yeah. That's what he looked like. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to him because why not?
Don't leave him alone with the ghosts. That makes him make
Almost
bad
one drink of
decisions.
me after waiting for an hour at the bar. So.
Liquid Semi-courage.
Yeah.
So I approached Quinn Hughes, and I just was quickly like, I'm Rachel. I wrote the books that Heated Rivalry is based on. And I could, okay, here's the thing, guys. He like lit up. He was like, and he said, the show is incredible.
So wait a
That's what he
minute.
said.
You're telling
and I
me
did
they
a full
lied?
step backwards.
Like, what?
Now that's what he said. This is all the information I have. And he asked me questions about the books. He said he'd like to read the books. He is a reader.
He would like to
read the books, is what he said.
I was gonna make a mean joke, but I'm not gonna.
Ruby.
I'm not gonna
that
say
it was
it.
not what I was expecting. And I'm not, there's nothing, I don't know him.
No.
This was the only interaction I had. It was lovely.
Well,
it was
I think
honestly the best conversation I had at the party. So.
I think Rachel Reed is awesome for this. I think that there would be, I'm sure that I saw some of the, maybe I'm reading into things, like when she said I went over to Quinn Hughes, I saw maybe a little reaction from the podcast hosts that are like, I don't know, kind of interesting. I would have done the same thing, though probably would have reacted the same way, been like, well, how did that go? Obviously, times were turbulent in the Quinn Hughes world in those days. She's also a Canadian hockey fan. She's also a fan of women's hockey. I think that in that moment for Rachel Reed to be like, I'm going to go over, talk to this person, see what makes them tick, be friendly to them. A lot of people were very mad online, ourselves included, over all the shit after the Olympics.
Can I just say,
I think Rachel Reed's a good person for going over and being like, hey, it's fucking Quinn Hughes. I'm going to go be nice.
Can I just say, too, that, like, despite all of that stuff happening, Quinn Hughes still looks so sad and disassociative in that moment at SNL that Rachel Reed was like, that guy looks like he could use a friend.
I would assume that he's like that in any social setting.
Yeah, 100%. I knew that Quinn Hughes, I know that Quinn Hughes says that he's a reader. I know that he's done some like team related content where he says that he's a reader. I'd like to do book club activities with Quinn Hughes and see what he's reading, see his thoughts on it. Do you think he seems like a nonfiction guy?
Yes.
But he does like war books.
Well, yeah. I mean, you and Quinn Hughes would have like the most MAGA book club.
That's
ever.
right.
That's why you want to do it.
Why do you think that
it has nothing to do with books.
That's right. No, I mean, like that's obviously very cool of Rachel Reed, and I mean, it's not a direct acknowledgement from any NHL player, but I don't think that any NHL player has said that they've watched Heated Rivalry, right?
Yeah, and that's fucking weird to me. Again, like maybe it's that they don't want attention for being like cool or something.
I mean, well, we just talked about the parasocialism going on. Like the first NHL player that admits publicly that they've watched this show is entering a world that I'm sure a lot of a community of athletes that is generally about being low key and not drawing attention to yourself. Like there's going to be a lot of attention that those players probably aren't exactly excited about if they publicly admit it, which I mean is kind of unfortunate. But I think that is there are definitely players who have watched this show and just don't want to be the one that watched the show.
Parker Kelly from the Avalanche has said that he's watched it. So okay, there's one. I mean, Quinn Hughes is going to be asked about it now. You would think. So we'll see what he has to say.
I think it is cool that one of my longtime colleagues and mentors said that the worst place two people can be is unwilling to have a conversation, and I think it's cool that Rachel Reed went over. Who like with what Rachel Reed's standing is in the hockey world would have been very easy for, and like as a Canadian hockey fan, be very easy to be like, I'm drawing a line. Fuck this guy.
I mean, even just for the hockey of it all.
And instead is like, I'm an important person in hockey. That's an important person in hockey. It is a net positive if we find out that Quinn Hughes is a Heated Rivalry person. It is a net positive if Quinn Hughes gets obsessed with Heated Rivalry. It is like Heated Rivalry can change.
It would align with what we've previously known about Quinn Hughes, which is that Oreos and gay hockey make him very excited more than anything else that we know about him.
Yeah, and that's not making excuses. That's not a PR tour thing. I know I've seen a lot of stuff of like he's just trying to repair his reputation. With all due respect to Quinn Hughes, I don't know if he knows how to do anything other than play hockey and allegedly read.
Yeah, and eat Oreos.
Eat Oreos. So I'll just say, like, good looks, Rachel Reed.
Yeah, I think that's again, like you said, net positive. If this is where we're headed, I'm into it.
Yes. Well, we're headed for awards watch from our dear friend.
It sounded like you said we're headed towards a war, and I was like, I think we're already there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So someone mentioned Andrew Ferentz. I'll say this again. Like the whole, this player is MAGA, this player is this, and everything. Like in my experience, the ones that were notable were the ones who weren't.
Yes,
like
right.
Andrew Ferentz had a reputation as being like the weirdo guy. You see him, he's got sleeve tattoos and he cares about the environment. He could be trouble in the room. And he's like the nicest, best person in the world.
Also, if you don't follow Andrew Ferentz on Instagram, please follow Andrew Ferentz on Instagram because he is he's a funny guy, but he's also like a hobbyist.
Yes, he'll be like, I learned how to do this thing.
Yes, and it's very interesting, and I want to have him on the show very badly.
If he gets better at sewing than me, I'm going to. He's probably already better at sewing than me. Maybe even if he hasn't sewn before. Greg Wyshynski put out his awards watch on ESPN.com, ESPN, in which he speaks to members of the PHWA. They vote for most of the awards. They don't vote for the Vezina. They don't vote for the Jack Adams. Okay, but talks to voters. I think that he talks to broadcasters about the Jack Adams one. So he really does his homework and he asks around and he does a bit of a tally. I will run down the favorites and the leaders for each award as he spoke to people. Hart, Nathan MacKinnon. Norris, Cale Makar, Zach Werenski tied. Calder, Matthew Schaefer. Vezina, Andrei Vasilevsky. That's voted on by the general managers. Selke, Nick Suzuki, Jack Adams, John Cooper. I want to go through some of these. Want to just go in order? Start with Nathan MacKinnon?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nathan MacKinnon received the most first place votes and 47% of the total first place votes. Quote, Nathan MacKinnon remains the front runner for me. Leads the league in even strength points and has a plus 55 rating, one voter said. I'll also note parenthetically, Nathan MacKinnon leads the league in goals. So this is a very logical MVP. Monster stats, playing on the team that's having the best season. Someone else says he's the clear MVP for me with 20 or so games remaining. Another MacKinnon voter said, I hope he doesn't get dinged for the fact that his organization outthinks and out-operates everybody else. It's how things have changed in a calendar year, where people were saying last year, to an extent, what are the Avalanche doing? What are you doing about Alex Georgiev? And like even the Brock Nelson trade, people were like, why the fuck did you do that? And everything's coming up Avs. Love it for them. There's the Macklin Celebrini conversation because the other finalists from Wyshynski for Hart are Macklin Celebrini, Nikita Kucherov, and Connor McDavid, both tied. Someone says it's Celebrini if the Sharks somehow rally. And if the Sharks get in, I'd consider Celebrini, said a MacKinnon voter. What do you make of the Hart race?
It's interesting, and like I don't think that there is I think that it's like a 4-horse race, and there's probably a pretty strong case for 4 different horses. But if you go MacKinnon, I'm completely okay with that, and that probably is the first place my mind goes to because he's just been so dominant.
Yeah, MacKinnon seems like chalk right now. The Celebrini one is so fun.
It is fun.
You can do the whole, well, what does most valuable mean? And if it means most valuable, then it's Macklin Celebrini. If it means having the best season, it's Nathan MacKinnon. But here's the thing about having the best season. Just give it 3 days and Nikita Kucherov will lap everybody if he feels like doing it.
Yeah, but like there's also, I don't want to like get into the weeds of like the most valuable versus best. And like MacKinnon is having the best season like largely because he is so valuable to a very good team.
Yeah. There's
like that's not replaceable numbers just because he plays on a good team.
I have one person who I don't think has been thrown in here, and there's someone who might be a favorite for, let me see. This person is not a favorite to win the Norris, but I think that when you are 11 points up on your teammate, on your next best teammate in terms of points.
You're talking Zach Werenski.
And you are also an unbelievable defenseman, I want Zach Werenski getting 4th and 5th place votes. I don't know who he's getting that. I don't know if he's getting that at the expense of Connor McDavid or whatever or whoever. But
I think Celebrini's case also very much applies to Werenski, and his numbers aren't going to be as sexy because he's a defenseman, but he's also getting more ice time.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of stole this from RL last year, was saying that Werenski was more of a Hart candidate than he is a Norris candidate. I think that, and we can transition to Norris if we want, I think that Werenski's having the best season among defensemen. Full stop. He would be my Norris leader. But instead, it's Cale Makar and Zach Werenski tied atop, with the quotes coming in as, it's Makar up top, no question. After that, I could argue for probably close to 7 or 8 guys, said a Makar voter. Another one said, Makar's play is dropped of late. Werenski is going to find himself in the Hart conversation if Columbus makes the playoffs. There you go. He's been incredible all year. I've made my point on Werenski that I think that he's got some 5th place Hart to him. And someone says on him, he's doing more with less around him versus Makar. I agree with that. Cole Makar would still be in the number 1 spot for me, but it's a narrow gap between him, Quinn Hughes, and Mo Seider filling out my top 3. Another voter asked, have we all been sleeping on Evan Bouchard? One Makar voter said, Evan Bouchard can also still get into the mix with 25% of the season remaining. And Wyshynski wrote, Bouchard's problem is convincing voters that his frequently maligned defensive game has improved enough for Norris consideration. Quote, Evan Bouchard doesn't defend well enough to leapfrog either Cale Makar or Zach Werenski, one voter said. I agree with that last part, but I was like, you better choose your names carefully there, because like you can't put Quinn Hughes there. You can't put who doesn't kill penalties. You can't put there's space for him in the conversation. Like I said when we talked about Bouchard last week, I think Werenski's still having a better season than any other defenseman. So whoever we're talking about there, even if it is Cale Makar, I think that guys are playing for second, and I think that Makar is kind of getting a bit of a reputation call here because Werenski's been better. I think Werenski has been better. I think that he's been more valuable relative to the rest of his team. I think that he is so clearly the engine of the Blue Jackets, and there's no merchant allegations whatsoever. And like, I know that Cale Makar is an incredible generational talent, but he will always have to battle, as will Draisaitl, like the allegations of being a merchant of like the not being the best player on his team. Yes, but sometimes Makar is the best player on his team, and sometimes Leon is the best player on his team. Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that, but the existence of like a player in their stratosphere also on their team is allegations that they're going to have to always fight against. And I don't think that Werenski has that, which may help them in a dead heat race. All right. Calder, Matthew Schaefer, no brainer. Vezina, Vasilevsky, makes sense to me. Also in the mix there, Ilya Sorokin, Logan Thompson. Why is Jeremy Swayman not in this list? I was wondering that. I think that Jeremy Swayman, he's got some heart, like he's got some like goalie heart to him. No, he doesn't. He wouldn't like. I'm saying like if there were a most valuable goalie award, Jeremy Swayman would be in it more than he would be in the. But isn't that the like playing the best? No, it's just like which goalie's played the best. I mean, Logan Thompson is up here. Yeah. How his team's not even going to make the playoffs. Right, but I think that Jeremy Swayman's. I don't think that your numbers necessarily say that you have been the best goalie. Then what does? Like, I think that the quality of chances that you face and like those are numbers though. Yeah, right. But I mean, I'm just saying like not the basic numbers that put Logan Thompson in this conversation. Like Logan Thompson has a better save percentage. He's got like better basic numbers on a page. But like the Bruins have been so bad defensively in the workload that Jeremy Swayman has had to face on a night-to-night basis, not like on the total, but like on a absolutely getting shelled and high quality chances and the number of, goals saved above average. I think he's third in the league. Jeremy Swayman's, I think, right up there with
Vezina, the candidates here this year.
Make it happen, GMs. Give him some votes. I think that, let's see, what's next? Selke. I love Nick Suzuki getting it. Nathan McKinnon is in the mix, though, because they have such a good differential when he's on the ice. I would go Nick Suzuki over Nathan McKinnon, but that's what voters seem to be doing. The most interesting remaining one, Jack Adams, which again is voted on by the NHL broadcasters. The leader is John Cooper, and the finalists are Jared Bednar and Lindy Ruff. And Greg Wyshynski asks, is this the most fascinating race of the NHL awards season? I will ask you that, Sean.
It's fucking ridiculous to me. Like, how in any way is Bednar or Cooper's coaching performance more impressive than what Lindy Ruff has done with this team this year? Like, and I feel like every single year this award is like, oh, it's the guy that coached the team that made this massive unexpected leap into the playoffs. That's exactly what the Sabres have done this year. And now this year they want to give it to the coach of the team that has been one of the best teams in the NHL for a decade straight. Like, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand how it can't be Lindy Ruff.
Here's why: because John Cooper's never won Jack Adams before, and people are like, "Oh, well, this is the year where it's kind of surprising that they're as good as we thought, so let's give it to him." Someone even says, "quote It's his Martin Scorsese year."
I think
meaning
I
like
think
when he won for The Departed.
I think this is disrespectful to John Cooper. Like, John Cooper is not the Jared Bednar case here, where it's like, you have clearly got like one of the most talented rosters in the NHL. Like, what John Cooper has done with a Lightning team that has been depleted at points this season, and like that blue line at certain points where you look at it on paper and you're like, who the fuck are half these guys?
What do you mean? Darren Radish is like one of the best defensemen in the league this year.
Who?
Darren Radish. And they have a guy that's going to be finalist for Hart, and a guy that is based on this award thing is going to win Vezina.
Who was Darren Radish before this year?
A guy that was on the same team that was John Cooper that was coaching him.
What I'm saying is that they've gotten the most out of every player on their roster. And when you look at it on paper before the season, you wouldn't say, "Damn, this is an incredible roster." Like,
you would say that it was better than the Sabres roster.
I'm not arguing against Lindy Ruff here. I'm saying the conversation is pretty disrespectful towards John Cooper and what he's been able to do with the Tampa Bay Lightning team that is been incredible.
He should be second,
way above what they should be on paper.
Absolutely, he should. I'm not disparaging Cooper, and I agree with you. Like, I'll take back what I said, that like the Cooper and Bednar situations are different, but like this is a conversation about who deserves to win the award the most, and I think it's absurd to suggest that Cooper deserves it more than Lindy Ruff.
I don't think it's absurd.
Lightning Reddit is not going to be friendly to us today. They're going to ask the question again.
No, I mean,
does the What Chaos show have some problem with the Lightning?
Well, I mean, one of the co-hosts of the show is defending the Lightning, so that would be, you can't. That's people that aren't paying attention. But my statement, like, Cooper absolutely should be second, but Lindy Ruff turned around a team that was, and I guess you have to criticize him for this as well, but like, turned around a team that was last place 3 months ago, and now they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, or at least in the division. With a worse roster, with worse goaltending, with more to go up against. Like, his coaching job, I think, is objectively more impressive than what Cooper's done, and Cooper's is, again, the second most impressive coaching job.
I think that Lindy absolutely has a very strong case to win the Jack Adams this year. I don't think it's absurd to say that John Cooper also has an extremely good case to win. And like, I think that both these guys are kind of on equal footing. And if you want to say like it comes down to who wins the division, I think I would be more shocked at the beginning of the year had you told me the Buffalo Sabres were going to win the division versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So maybe that's like, maybe you lean Lindy for that reason. But I think that what both coaches have done should put them 1-2 in this race, and it's not absurd to say either one of them should win.
So here's something I'm going to note. This piece ran on Monday, which means the quotes and the votes were collected, I would assume, in the days leading up to it. My guess would be if that research and information gathering was done after Sunday night's game, Lindy Ruff would probably be in first. So, like, not kidding.
No, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Yeah, again, I have absolutely nothing against Cooper or the Lightning. I don't, I He absolutely deserves to be second. But when you're judging this based off where they've come from, like, you could say that, like, yeah, you might not have expected the Lightning to be this good, but also, like, if you had asked, I probably would have still picked them to win this division coming into the year, especially, I probably would have picked the Florida Panthers, but considering what the Florida Panthers are right now, like, the Lightning would have been second on that list, I guess. And the Sabres haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. The Sabres haven't made the playoffs since the last time Lindy Ruff was the coach of this team. Like, I think it's absurd to suggest that, like, the climb that they've made, the battle that they've had to fight is similar. Like, it's not even to mention, like, the curse, the history, the stain that comes with being a Buffalo Sabres. Like, there's a lot of, like, just non-hockey things that Lindy Ruff has had to, and this team had to overcome. Like, I don't know how you can argue that Lindy Ruff is not the most impressive coaching job in the league this year.
Thank you to the chat who has clarified and explained what each award is to anyone who's new to hockey as we've been discussing it. And their explanation for Jack Adams is coach who's going to get fired. It's the coach of the year. And typically that's the coach on a team that overperforms. And then people say, okay, this team's really good now. And then in a couple of years, the team regresses and they're like, well, this team's supposed to be awesome. It's the coach's fault. Bye. You were doing a little snub talk and, like, who's getting left out here. Or really, we've only been talking about who's snubbed among the top three and that, like, it should be Lindy in the top spot. The other coaches receiving first place votes from Greg's research were Lane Lambert of the Seattle Kraken, Andre Torini of the Utah Mammoth, and then other coaches mentioned down the ballot were Dan Muse of the Pittsburgh Penguins and Ryan Warsofsky of the San Jose Sharks. So I would say the biggest snub in all of this is Joel Quenneville.
Right.
Like, no mention. Like, I don't think he should win it. But if you want to do some real hockey talk and get into, like, hey, 35 guys were just mentioned, why not 36? I would think that Joel Quenneville would be in the top, say, 4 at least.
Who's brave enough?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like
that's it.
Who's
Joel
brave
Quenneville
enough?
obviously, like, stopped coaching after a scandal in which he misreported and fucked up a horrible situation in Chicago. So maybe that's it. But then,
I mean, it's just
yeah. I mean,
Stan Bowman's not getting GM of the Year votes.
Dan Muse is one that I think deserves more.
Yeah,
because he's also a first-year head coach in the NHL, and I would say an unenviable situation in Pittsburgh that he has turned into. Hey, maybe it's not that bad, and like they're still pretty competitive without Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin over the past week or so.
Someone brought up in the chat, how do you feel about Marty St. Louis?
I would say it's not the year, like last year, Marty St. Louis.
Yeah, that was their lead.
Yeah. So I think he's a really good coach. I just I think that his case is not solid enough this year.
The Lane Lambert one is interesting to me because it's just like it seems like a prime candidate for people to overlook, I suppose.
I just don't think, and this applies to Quenneville as well, like, the coach of the year should not come out of the Pacific Division. No awards should come out of the Pacific Division this year.
No awards at all.
Yes.
So Patrick Waugh is another interesting one, but I mean, how much of that is just like the Islanders have been a solid team, generally speaking, over the last handful of years.
Yeah, they've been fine, and then they got a great player, and now they're good.
I do want to clarify on the Swayman conversation. I was talking about like the body of work, and I was a bit clunky with my words on a night-to-night basis versus total overall. I meant like Logan Thompson has played more games than Jeremy Swayman, so his workload looks more like he has more of a workload. But Jeremy Swayman has faced like basically the same number of shots because he's getting shelled on more on a night-to-night basis. So that's what I meant by that.
Good awards chat, boys.
Real quick, just Andre Torini, hell yeah. I love him getting a shout out. The work that he's done with the Coyotes/Mammoth over the last handful of years has been wildly unnoticed because, of course, they haven't been like great, but like the progress they've made, he's been very important to like the Bill Armstrong project, I would say, and I like seeing him get attention.
Hell yeah, Bear. Let's talk about the Panthers. Elliot Friedman says the Panthers might try to, quote, nosedive to get a high pick. Now, if you don't remember, last year, Florida Panthers won themselves a Stanley Cup. How'd they do it? By getting Seth Jones off the Chicago Blackhawks, a fun, savvy trade from, why can't I think of the GM, the former agent in Florida? Bill Zito. Bill Zito, tidy bit of work. Get Seth Jones for a 2026 first-round pick that we all thought was unprotected. And then it turns out, we find out this year, no, it is top 10 protected. So the Panthers right now, who are out of the playoff picture, dealing with a bunch of injuries. They've had Matthew Tkachuk missing. He's back now, but Seth Jones has been out for a while. Sasha Barkov has been out all year. There's other injuries like Sam Reinhart, Jonah Gadjevich. They're figuring out what to do with Brad Marchand. If their pick falls in the top 10, they get to keep it. And if it falls outside of the top 10, it goes to the Blackhawks. If they keep their pick, I believe the 2027 pick goes to the Blackhawks and the 2028 pick goes to the Bruins because the Bruins are supposed to get the 2027 pick. All very confusing, but again, I will just repeat. If the Panthers finish with a pick in the top 10, they get to keep it. This is a fallow year for them. We've covered this. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to let everything replenish. It was assumed they would not have a draft pick in the first round this year because you figure even if it's a fallow year, they'll make the playoffs and they'll lose in the first round. They're now in a position where if they play their cards right, they can end up with a high pick in a very good draft. Paul Maurice said this week that Brad Marchand is going to miss weeks, not days. They're waiting to see if he's going to get surgery, but you can add to the list of injured players and players who will miss time, Brad Marchand. This might end up being a very obvious and apparent tank. What say you?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. It kind of aligns with everything that we've heard. I mean, why would you rush back Sasha Barkov? Why would you, like if Matthew Tkachuk is battling something, if Brad Marchand's battling something, why wouldn't you shut those guys down? And then like even the Sam Reinhart of it all, like I don't know what he's come down with. I don't want to accuse anybody of like faking injuries, but like if they have a decision to play a guy who's like on the fence or not play him, I think you're going to see a lot more of not playing those guys versus playing them.
A lot of load management, but it is load management, and it's, I will say, strategic load management beyond keeping the players healthy. It's going to be tanking if this is what they do.
They should do it.
Do you have any sort of moral objection to tanking this way, where a roster that? What do you think, Sean?
Well, I was going to say, like, tanking comes in different forms, and like obviously it's been a huge thing. Not to piss off Mammoth/Jazz fans, but it's been a huge thing in the NBA the last few weeks, and like there's a distinct difference between like basically lying and like not playing guys late in games or pretend or like doing just straight up load management against opponents. Like, but if guys are actually hurt and your season is gone, even if you didn't have a draft pick, it would make logical sense to shut those guys down. So you throw on top of that the fact that they have a chance to improve their draft positioning. Like it is good management. It's good business. It's good. It's just the logical thing to do. And I don't have any moral objection to like just like protecting your players when there's nothing to play for.
I have zero moral objection to this.
Specifically in this case.
I have zero moral objection to this. These are the rules and the parameters that they're working with. And yes, it might end up being pretty blatant and you're going to be able to tell what they're doing. But if you can do it, then why not? Especially when it's between losing your pick and having a really good pick. It's not like they're doing this to go from having the 33rd pick to the 28th pick. It's either not having a pick in the first round or potentially picking top 5. They can still fall out of it because they can drop 2 spots in the lottery, but I have no problem with this. And look, the Panthers have advantages. We've discussed those advantages. This is something that any team can do, though. So I say fair play.
Yeah, and I have a moral objection to like shutting your team down for the sake of maximizing draft position. I don't have a moral objection to playing your cards right based off of what's in front of you. And like with the Panthers, they have a lot of older guys who are battling things, who do have a lot of wear and tear and mileage on them over the past few years. If they can replenish that and take advantage of the high stakes that sit in front of them, which is that a top 10 pick, and potentially getting a player at very low cost, minimal cost for the years that they want to compete down the road. Like, that's smart business, and it is smart business to protect the assets that you have locked up long term. And so, like, I don't have any issues with what may happen here as long as it doesn't get super egregious.
I mean, but it might
it's
get
going
super
to.
egregious.
It's going to. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't even care. Like, there is zero reason that Sasha Barkov should play again this year. If Brad
But that's
Marchand,
not super egregious in my mind because he hasn't played this year. Like,
Well,
if they had all these guys and then they were like, sorry, we're shutting down Barkov, we're shutting down Marchand, we're shutting down Kachuk, we're shutting down blah blah blah, and suddenly all those guys disappeared because they're not playing well, they're not winning games, and they want to get inside the top 10. Like, what I'm saying is, it's not egregious if you're putting them out or leaving them out because they have things going on.
What about resting Bob at the end of the season? That'd be egregious.
Not necessarily, because he's on an expiring contract. Maybe he's not your goalie. Maybe you want to see what you have in net and you want to evaluate what's behind Bob.
Now you are doing the thing, though.
Yeah,
like,
yes,
that's
exactly.
that's what tanking is. Where like you're gonna come up with reasons.
There can be an explanation
it's
for
plausible
anything
deniability.
you do.
As long as there's plausible deniability, my morality on it, I think, can live in a place that I'm okay with.
But then, I mean, then you get dangerous territory because there's always plausible deniability. We're not doctors. We're not in the locker room. So if all of a sudden you're shutting down your best player, or in this case, your goal, like, and they can say whatever reason they want, and there's plausible deniability because we don't actually know. I think that would get egregious. But again, I wouldn't really care because, like, I don't know. I also, like, don't generally have, like, a huge problem with tanking. Like, that's just the business we're in. And until they implement a PWHL anti-tanking rule, like, that's just going to happen. Because, like, this is something that I see Leafs fans complaining about all the time, too. It's like, and it's different, but, like, if you got, like, young prospects at this point in the season, your season's over, play those guys. Like, unless you're worried about burning ELCs, blah, blah, blah. But, like, there's all these young guys who are like sitting in the press box, not playing games, and your season, you have nothing to play for. Like, play those guys. They're probably going to be worse. It's going to improve your draft stock, but it also, there is like a good logical hockey reason to be doing that.
And the thing with tanking is it doesn't always pay off, and it can actually fuck up your franchise. And the Sabres, respectfully, have been viewed as like a team where I don't think the Sabres have really tanked that much. I just think, I don't think they were trying to tank, but people say, like, if you keep tanking, you can become the Buffalo Sabres, which is a team that always picks high and never really gets out of it. So there's pros and cons to tanking in the first place. It's not a get out of jail free card. But yes, the conversation, Sean put it better than I was, that I was trying to have was like, are you okay with this if it's egregious? Because obviously they'll like sit guys, rest them to see, like, there's no point in playing Sasha Barkov. You're right. But there are going to be moments where I think it will be a little tougher to explain, or their explanations will be met with like, just fucking say it, man. We know what you're doing.
Also, I think part of it too that makes me okay with it is that they've seemingly tried up to this point, and they've established themselves as one of the 10 worst teams in the league. Like, if they were 15th or something, 14th or 15th, and it wasn't looking so hot, and like maybe it was a gamble, and then they shut it down and really sort of expedited themselves towards the bottom 10, then I'd be like, oh, fuck you, you pieces of shit. But like, they might be one of the worst 10 teams in the league this season while trying.
Now, because what you can't have, like in the Bob situation, you can't have guys who are not hurt being told to shut it down and then being like, nothing wrong with me. Like, that's the difference where it gets egregious, where like you have guys like Marchand who might actually need surgery, and it's like, you could, if they were competing, he'd put off the surgery, but would end up needing it anyways. Like, you get that surgery now. But if you're telling Bob, we're not playing you tonight because we're trying to focus on other things, like, there's competitors who are going to be like, that's not what I want to do.
If you're Bob too, the pending free agency may make you okay with shutting it down, because you get hurt and you suddenly lose a bunch of money. Yeah, so I don't think Bob would have a moral objection to it.
But I mean, you don't know, because like I think there's so many athletes who are just such massive competitors that they're like, I'm trying to be out there every single day if I can be.
Someone said, well, how many tanking seasons did it take the Oilers? Another good example of a team that I'm not sure was always trying to tank. Like, they did not tank for Connor McDavid. They won the Like, they didn't. They won the lottery. They were
the Sabres tanked for Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
I think they're supposed to be second.
That is the one year that the Sabres did clearly tank, and it was for Connor McDavid, and they lost a lot. Oilers, I think, were supposed
Krebs
to be
and Alex Tuck instead.
Oilers were one of the worst teams in the league, but they were not like absolute ass. I think they had like 5th best odds or something like that. The more interesting one, because the Panthers pick is top 10 protected, it's easier to aim for the top 10 and land there. The Toronto Maple Leafs have their top 5 protected pick sent to the Boston Bruins, and right now the Leafs, have the 7th worst record. So they can aim for the top 5 to keep their pick. Problem is there, 2 teams win the lottery, you fall outside of it anyway. So you just suck down the stretch and you get nothing out of it. Right now, let's see. They have, how many points do they have? They have 65 points. To get into the top 5, they need the teams below them to gain 6 points on them for the rest of the season, which can be done, but I don't think they're getting, like, no one's catching Vancouver. Vancouver has 46 points. Toronto has 65. I don't think they're catching Calgary, who has 57 points, but you get to the Rangers, the Blackhawks, St. Louis, 58, 59, 59. The Leafs can, and they would have to really, really, really suck and like win no games. But the Leafs can, I think, get into the bottom 3 mix. But like I said, if it's 4 and 2 teams win the lottery, sweet. You just gave the Boston Bruins the number 6th overall pick. Way to go.
I mean,
they could also win the lottery, though.
I have a moral objection. I have a moral objection to anything good happening to the Leafs. So
I think I do too.
Getting the 6th overall pick would be the funniest possible outcome here for the Bruins. As a Bruins fan, be ecstatic about it, but also just incredibly happy that this happened to the Maple Leafs. I also think that there's a question with the Leafs. I mean, if you're a Leafs fan, obviously you want the pick inside the top 5. If you're like probably in the Leafs front office, you want that top 5. But at the same time, where are you with the Matthews and Nylander of it all? Where it's like, if this season goes so poorly that you end up with a top 5 pick, like, do they feel better or worse about that?
I think they feel better about it. I think they're like, okay, well, we're getting another star player, and I think you can talk Matthews into what it seems like Elliott communicates a lot on 32 Thoughts, and if I'm hearing this wrong, I apologize. It seems like Auston Matthews, if a non-long rebuild is presented to him, he's going to be game to stick around. But if it's going to be a proper rebuild and, hey, like, we're going back to the bottom, then maybe it's going to be a different conversation. I believe that's what Elliott said. If you get a top 3 pick, or if you win the lottery and you say, Austin, we're giving you Gavin McKenna, Auston Matthews is staying.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps.
Yes.
It definitely helps versus losing the first pick.
If I'm a Boston Bruins fan, go Leafs, go. I'm rooting for them to win games now.
Why?
Yeah, of course.
So you get your pick.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So I am rooting for them to end up with like the 9th worst record, and maybe you pick 9th. 10th.
Definitely. Like,
You'll
absolutely
take that over
the top 10 pick.
Yes. So Pete, Maple Leafs fan, confirmed. Speaking of the Maple Leafs, they got one this weekend against the Buffalo Sabres. That's right. Brought to you by Sports Interaction, Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook, Sports Interaction. Ontario only 18+. Please play responsibly. I feel bad that Sports Interaction is an Ontario sportsbook, and my pick for the week is for them to lose to the Buffalo Sabres. Leafs, it's not about you.
Well, no, we just talked about it. I think even Leafs fans at this point, not necessarily. Yeah. That's one thing I will say I kind of appreciate about Leafs fans is a lot of the ones I've seen on Twitter aren't necessarily being like, we need to tank and get this draft pick. It is really like, we have all these young players. Please play them so we can figure out if they're good and they can start to develop. So I appreciate that. But I think they're in a little bit of a – I don't know that they necessarily want to win this game either.
Okay, the pro Leafs pick is for them to lose to the Sabres, and I think that's going to happen. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatcast to open an account. Ontario only 18+. Please play responsibly. Pete?
Somebody said that in the chat, said that the Leafs' upcoming schedule is pretty brutal, and I just looked.
Is it against the NHL teams?
It is. Brutal in a like tough way. Like they are going to be playing a lot of good teams. Montreal, Anaheim, Buffalo, Minnesota, Islanders, Carolina Hurricanes, Ottawa Senators, Boston Bruins, New York Rangers, Blues. So that's got a nice little 2-game break, maybe 3-game break with the Bruins in there. And then Ducks, Sharks, Kings. So like really tough strength of schedule for the Leafs to end the season, which could be good for the Leafs fans.
Play the kids.
Play the kids, I suppose. We've got a good slate today. It is loaded, and this might be one that I say before I read you a single game, we'll tell you. This slate is an A. Sean?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see.
A watch.
Oh, we got 10? 1,
Plus
2,
3.
We got 13?
Yes.
Well, then we're lucky, folks, because
Should
all
I start
13
numbering
of these...
or put somewhere how many games there are in total?
No, I think we can count.
I mean, we'll take the PWHL games when you got them, Sean. Anything but PWHL, this guy. All right. LA Kings at Boston Bruins, 7 p.m. Eastern in the United States and Canada. The Sharks at the Buffalo Sabres, 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't mean to tell tales out of school, but our friend Jeff Merrick is going to that one, and I am so jealous of him.
Didn't even invite me.
I'll text him and say, can you bring Sean? I bet he would.
I don't know if I've ever met Merrick in person. I don't think I have.
He's a legend. Maple Leafs at Canadians, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's a good one.
I mean, implications.
Blue Jackets at Bolts, 7 p.m. Eastern. You got the Red Wings at the Florida Panthers. That's at 7 p.m.
I did say to you earlier this week, I was like, I didn't say implications. I forgot that's a staple of the show.
Yeah.
We're in implication season. I'm very happy that we're here. I mean, we got over the weekend between the Sabres and Lightning, we heard a broadcast call out, this is the most important game of the year so far. I'm so glad we've arrived to that point.
Love hearing stuff like that. You got the Flames at the Rangers at 7 p.m. All this happening at 7 p.m. You got the Penguins at the Hurricanes, an Eastern Conference final preview, perhaps, a Jake Gensel Bowl. Yep. Islanders at the Blues, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that one on TNT. Now, once we move into the 8 o'clock hour, we really start to get serious. Golden Knights at Dallas Stars, 8 p.m. Eastern. Utah Mammoth.
How are you going to say
Wild.
Potential Eastern Conference final preview for Pittsburgh Penguins and Carolina Hurricanes and not say that for the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars?
That would be fun. That'd be funny. That'd be a good one. Mammoth at Wild, you can catch on ESPN+. Anaheim Ducks at Winnipeg Jets, which I'll throw some implications on this one.
Jets?
You seeing the Jets?
Yeah, kind of hot.
Jets are good.
New hottest team in hockey.
Well,
They just traded for Minka Fitzpatrick.
Did the Presidential Medal of Freedom power the Jets to being Canada's hottest team in hockey?
So are the Jets now Air Force One? You take a jet, you give it the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Are they the Air Force Ones?
I don't hate this.
That was definitely off the dome, and I don't know how good it was, but I think there might be something there.
Air Force winning streak.
Yes.
Air Force won 7 in a row.
Every time the Jets win, we need to ask if they're going to visit the White House, and we should make it political.
They've only won 3 in a row, but Air Force won 3 in a row.
Also, talk about a Canadian team winning a Canadian team winning a regular season game and then us discussing whether they'll go to the White House for it is very good to me.
I guess we don't know because famously Canada hasn't won shit in forever. Do they go to Parliament? Do they go to Ottawa?
That's a good question.
Because
they hanging out with Carney?
Connor Hellebuck going to the White House and whatever the Canadian Parliament's called, or their executives, the seat of their executive branch, whatever, in one season. That'd be I feel like that'd be a big deal. Does he not go to that one because he's a true red-blooded American? The implications.
This is good. Edmonton Oilers take on the Colorado Avalanche at 10 p.m. Eastern in the United States. In Canada, you can catch that on TNT. No! Damn. 2 games in a row. I miss my guys.
I mean, this would have been an incredible opportunity from either side. You've got the Oilers broadcast.
Yes.
You've got the Avalanche broadcast. What are you doing to us, TNT? We love you, but go stand on somebody else's corner.
No. And then you also have a co-tuck because it's Oilers at Avalanche at 10. And then the Predators at the Kraken at 10. And I'll tell you what, that's a good game too. I'm trying to look at games I don't care about here. And it's the Flames and Rangers. And it's Red Wings and Panthers I don't really care about.
No, Red Wings implications.
I mean, like, what? Yeah, it's always worth it to watch the Red Wings. But so many of these games have two teams that are doing something.
I mean,
that is true.
I can't even count out the New York Islanders and St. Louis Blues here because Islanders are very fun to watch, and the Blues have somehow won 4 games in a row.
Blues are hot. Blues won the trade deadline. They didn't do shit at the trade deadline or relative to what they wanted to do, but sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. They held on to the right guys. Doug Armstrong, GM of the year. Many are asking. Slate, I repeat, is an A. Amazing stuff.
We deserve it.
Yes, very good. Can you give me some super chats, Sean?
Yes, Fleet Golden Eyes tonight. League's best team versus the league's second worst team.
What time?
I'm assuming. Actually, this one might be on the West. 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, that's not bad.
Damn, that's
get into that.
3 good games at 10.
Little West Coast road trip for your Boston Fleet because they take on Seattle, the actual league's worst team, tomorrow.
Machu Fry says, "Excuse me, where's the Sharks sticker? I'm sticker in, sticker out at the moment. I'm making room. I should add something to it though because I do have this area open right now. Stu stays. We've got the loon on there and the old what mutt, and of course my other car is an awfully hot coffee pot. Shark since 93 says, couldn't send a super chat during the 24-hour stream, so here it is. You guys are the best and always a highlight of my day. Keep on going, or keep on keeping on. Go Sharks. All right, go Sharks. Cool. Nikki says, so wild, my Twitter never shows that behavior. People be weird online. Be mature. Jules says, the ageism referred to as people calling Francois a predator and a groomer because he's 40 and older than the others. Hey.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Beach all the time.
Don't with shit like that, man. Like predators are like and groomers, like those are real fucking things.
Yeah, and like there's no shortage of them. If you want to go find one,
there's a fucking lot.
There's a whole lot of internet files that you could just peruse and
please be careful to not decide that someone you don't like just is one and then throw it out there because then you're watering down the importance and messaging of that because they can just say, oh, well, this is baseless and this isn't real. And then everyone gives up. And then you get into things where people don't believe accusations and like, don't fuck up the world, okay?
This is not the time to be watering down the level of accusation against someone being a predator.
Yes, please.
Use your fucking brains.
Use
also,
your brains. Be like
11
Sean.
hours ago, Michael Kesselring followed Robert Thomas on Twitter.
Ooh.
On Instagram. So post that
Kesselring to the Blues. Interesting.
Yeah. For Robert Thomas.
Well, it's they still have another month of waiver trades they can do. In baseball, they have the trade deadline, and then after they were like, you could still make trades.
Yeah,
just for the players that nobody really cares
and
about.
Like huge deals go down. Still, it's the best. The Adrian Gonzalez trade.
That's true. Yeah,
it was a fucking waiver deal.
It's just trades for either players that nobody cares about or players that only one team can afford.
Yeah. Oh, they should do that. Let's see. Any more super chats, buddy?
Nope. Okay,
well, I've got some thanks to give out. Thanks to Pete Blackburn. I never thank the people who are regularly here. So thanks to Sean. Thanks to Pete. Thanks to Cal McCarr, Zach Wierenski, Nathan McKinnon, Nick Suzuki, John Cooper, Lindy Ruff, Joel Quenville, Greg Wyshynski, Rachel Reed, Loon Call. Thanks to that podcast. Paul Maurice, Brad Marchand. Thanks to Francois Arnault. To Hudson Williams, to Tristan Jarry, Jason Greger, Elliot Friedman, Frank Saravalli, Bob Stauffer, Quinn Hughes, and that might be it. Seth Jones.
We do have several more Best Picture reviews hitting the Patreon today and tomorrow. Last night we put out Hamnet last night.
Yep.
And the Sinners and Hamnet one are out right now. We will have One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme coming out today, and the rest this week. And they're very fun. So sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/whatchaos. And thank you to all the patrons.
I'm seeing, by the way, we're getting some late breaking La La Landing going on with Sinners.
People saying that
we're
Sinners
like,
sucks.
it is officially cool to say that Sinners is bad now.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not great.
I did watch The Secret Agent last night, and that movie fucks. I am very excited about it. That might be in my top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the only one I haven't seen. You still got to see, what do you have left? Just Frankenstein?
Frankenstein, that's it. Yeah. So, yeah. If you're a movie person, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/whatchaos. Okay, bye. We love you.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.